I'm not here to hype anything, I'm here to help you decide whether the AIMS 1500W 12V pure sine inverter charger with a built-in transfer switch actually solves the problems you're facing on the road, at the job site, or during a power outage. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Most people who consider a portable inverter charger are torn between two worries. They need enough clean power for sensitive electronics, but they also don't want a box that ends up sitting unused because it's too bulky, too complex, or just the wrong wattage for their everyday gear. First, let's talk about the situation that usually brings this kind of unit into view. You've got a 12V battery, maybe the deep cycle battery in your RV, the one you keep in a solar-charged truck, or the lead-acid bank you rely on for a home backup system. You need to run a laptop, charge a phone, maybe power a small fridge or a CPAP machine, and you'd like the option to hook up a generator without having to juggle multiple cables. That's the sweet spot where an inverter charger with an automatic transfer switch shines. It can draw power from the battery, convert it to clean 120V AC, and when you connect a generator it will automatically switch over, protecting your devices from surges and keeping everything running without you having to think about it. Now, the AIMS 1500W model is marketed as an all-in-one solution. The biggest practical strength I've seen in real-world usage is exactly that simplicity. Once you bolt the unit to a 12V battery, you have a single outlet panel that supplies pure sine wave AC, a built-in charger that keeps the battery topped up, and a transfer switch that senses the presence of a generator and flips the source without a manual toggle. For a weekend camper who wants to plug a portable fridge, a TV, and a few USB chargers, you end up with a single line on the wall instead of 3 separate adapters. The 3-surge capability means the unit can handle brief spikes that happen when motors start up, which is a real concern if you ever plan to run a power tool or a small air compressor off the inverter. In practice, that translates to fewer blown fuses and a longer life for whatever you're powering. Another point that often gets overlooked is the low-frequency power architecture AIMS touts. In plain language, it means the inverter doesn't chop the waveform at an ultra-high frequency, which can cause certain devices, especially those with inductive loads like medical equipment or older chargers, to behave oddly. Users who need to run a CPAP machine or a sensitive audio recorder have reported that the pure sine wave output feels indistinguishable from mains power, so you don't have to worry about humming or interference. That's a concrete advantage over cheaper modified sine units that can make a low-frequency motor whine or cause a laptop charger to flicker. On the flip side, the unit isn't without trade-offs. The 1500W rating is continuous, but the peak surge is limited to 3 times that for just a few seconds. If you try to start something that draws more than 500W, even momentarily you'll see the inverter dip or shut down. That's something you'll only run into if you plan to power large appliances like a full-size electric heater or a high-draw power tool. For most RV and camper setups, 1500W is plenty, but it does mean you need to be aware of the cumulative draw of everything you plug in. A common mistake is plugging a microwave and a small fridge at the same time. The combined startup surge can trip the inverter, leaving you in the dark. Battery compatibility is another practical consideration. The AIMS unit works with any 12V battery, but the charging current it supplies is tuned for deep cycle and AGM types. If you connect a standard automotive starter battery, you'll get a charge, but it won't be optimized and you could see a slower recharge rate. That's why the product is best paired with a dedicated house battery system rather than a car's cranking battery, which is something many first-time buyers overlook. The universal battery compatibility claim is technically true, but the real value shows up when you pair it with the right battery chemistry. Installation is fairly straightforward, but it isn't plug-and-play for the absolute novice. You have to wire the input terminals to the battery with the correct gauge cable, secure the ground, and set the charger voltage to match your battery specifications. The manual is clear, yet a beginner might still need a basic understanding of DC wiring to avoid a voltage drop that reduces efficiency. Once it's wired, the unit's LED display gives you a quick glance at input voltage, output load, and charging status, which is a practical feature for anyone who wants to monitor performance without pulling out a multimeter. So, who should actually buy this AIMS inverter charger? If you're an RV owner who wants a single, reliable source for AC power and battery charging, and you're comfortable running a short length of cable too.